West Coast time.
15 minutes, then it's that West Coast time.
It's fine. With that, everybody, welcome to episode 74, right? Does that sound right? I think, of the download queue. Coming at you after a week break. I stepped away. My brother graduated high school, had to go to the party. Kid's off to be an EMT. A round of applause for him. Doing successful things while I sit here and talk about video games on the internet. Joined once again, Kyle Badu. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a while since we've sat down and talked.
Yeah, we've been waiting. There's been absolutely nothing to talk about until today. It finally happened today only. No, it's been a good week. A lot of games. Played a lot of games. But yeah, excited to talk about a lot.
There's a lot of games to talk about, which is going to be the first half of the show. Everyone's been playing something a little different, so we can kind of dip into the pot for everything. And when I say everything, if you're watching live on video, we got a third window on the right-hand side, making his triumphant return, Brian Sabre, UnitedWeNerd. How are you doing?
The United Return.
United Return.
That's what we dubbed this episode, the United Return. No, I'm doing good. Have a lot of talk about this week. A lot of it is stuff that we probably don't want to be talking about, but we're going to do that. But it's stuff that we need to be talking about. But at the same time, it's also nice that we're going to be kind of mixing it a little bit with stuff that we've been doing a lot. And spoiler alert, the mind link has happened to me. The particle acceleration has occurred. I have been fully into the mecha, so I will I will explain later for people that don't understand what I'm saying.
I don't understand, but you posted a real nice looking photo in our Discord yesterday, and I was like, that game's real fucking shiny and nice. Looks real clean.
Oh yeah.
With that, each and every Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, West Coast time, we're coming at you talking about the latest gaming news, reviews, previews, discussion, topics of conversation, whatever our little hearts desire, because we do whatever we want here. It's our show. No one tells us what to do. I want to start, because I've been playing some games. We've all been playing some games, but I've been playing one for 2 weeks now that should, for all intents and purposes, scratch a certain itch for me. I've had an okay time. I actually just beat it in between playing Mario Kart with Kyle. You didn't even know I was playing games on the side in between races. It is rolled credits on one Ruffy and the Riverside. Full transparency, did get a review code for this provided by Pirate PR and the studio, so shout out to them. But yeah, rolled credits. This is as close to a current day 3D platformer as you can, but I feel it fits in a certain niche of art games. And I would put it up there with a Toem or a Chicory, which sounds weird, but it's got an artsy style to it. It is a 2.5 3D collectathon platformer, what you would expect, Banjo-Kazooie-ish, 3D Mario-ish. But it looks kind of like a storybook cutout. All the characters look like stickers or like they were drawn in a child's notebook and ripped off and snapped on the page. Real cool art style, which is what caught my attention at first. And then you start playing it, and it does a really cool... You can quite literally copy and paste things in the game. You can copy textures from one thing and put it on something else. So like the first kind of thing they give you in the tutorial, you have a waterfall. You can look at a vine texture, copy that vine texture, place it on the waterfall to then scale the waterfall. Real cool concept at the start, and exploring it at the beginning is real neat. There's puzzles where you have to copy colors to places, or copy TV screens to match up things, or how they do it with puzzles. And it's really cool at first, but then as you get on, it really hits a sort of Bucky Squire issue, I feel, where they throw every sort of scenario at you at the start, and it's just that on repeat for the rest of the time. They don't really spend time on expanding on how the puzzles work, on how this super unique mechanic can be introduced and kind of played with in a fun way that stretches like your imagination of how you experience it. It becomes very one note, sadly. It becomes very by the numbers, but really fun platforming, really fun puzzles for what they are, really fun characters, and the back and forth. It reminds me of old Rare. Again, I'm a Banjo fan, but characters snarking back to each other, breaking the fourth wall, like super unique. I was super into it. Like I said, I just rolled credits, so check that out. Fun time.
So I'm just like looking at videos of it, and this looks like what if Nintendo made a 3D Paper Mario game?
Yeah, essentially, it's got that same, like I said, like kind of like 2.5D character models in a 3D space.
But I'm just like looking at this, and I'm like amazed that what they're able to do, and yet I have not heard about this game until you just talked about it.
Call him a groundhog.
Like this looks really interesting. Like it's very cute.
Is out
It
now.
has
Imagine a
surprising
hand-drawn
like
world full of friends.
so I'm watching
a
the
world
video,
to
and like the character
explore
itself
and
is like
imagine.
2D, kind of like a la like Paper Mario. Then it has the 3D camera, and then it kind of everything in the world is just kind of meshing together, even though it feels like it shouldn't. It's
You are
what's the Mouse PI?
Textures.
A game that's
Yeah,
coming out
yeah,
soon.
yeah.
Swap, you can
It gives
change
me
the
that kind of
world,
vibe.
and nothing can stop you.
It's really neat. Like I said, it's I saw an ad for it on Twitter, and it's the company's first game, so like take that for what you will too.
Say that.
Jump into this wonderful adventure.
But
and change
the concept
world.
is great. Like I said, it's just when you start diving into it and put time into it, it's the waterfall vine thing is repeated so often, and how doors open is repeated so often, and the concept is there. I just wish they had more time to kind of sit and develop the back end side of things.
Right.
There was also a couple. I did have 2 sort of game breaking bugs I sent in where you can kind of like rapid fire paste. So if you copy one texture and you want to put out a bunch of things, you can hold both triggers, light up 20 different things, and it does it all at once. If you do that when a puzzle is resetting, because they're all kind of on timers, you get stuck in that animation, and I had to completely close the game out, would not back out, couldn't do anything. And there's some weird things, like if you think of like a 3D hub world in a game like this, and you branch off into your snow region or the beach or whatever it is, those are done in a way where they're through caves, kind of like buffered loading zones back in the day. And when you approach them, it is a hard black screen inside this cave. And when you get close enough, everything instantly pops in at once as far as textures and colors go. And like, oh, that's a weird thing as far as loading. And then you do a puzzle where it's you're back and forth between regions a bunch, and it does it every time, where the world just snap appears in front of you. Like, that is very, very jarring.
What did you play this on?
Xbox. Is what I got my review code on. It is available Steam, Switch, PlayStation, pretty much everything for $20, but I believe it's on sale for like $17 right now on all the platforms as the launch sort of release.
Cool.
I would say probably it's very 7-8 hours for completion. The hub world, the main area, is sort of the main thing they kind of focused on, I feel, and all the regions you branch out to are very one and done 45-minute kind of explorations. They're not their own whole separate region you're exploring or putting a ton of time into. So
Okay.
doesn't really overstay its welcome, but a good time. I'm happy I played it. I don't know where it sits for me as far as the rest of the year goes. I hope it's gotten a ton on my timeline just interacting with it. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it and picking up on it just for the nostalgia vibes. So I'm hoping they kind of have time to go back, fix the issues internally with how it runs and the weird bugs and issues, because there was a plenty of when it was happening. So again, first time with the studio.
Hey, has a very positive review on Steam and a demo.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
demo would be great.
Love that.
So it's just through that demo is probably what I said, where this is everything the game has to offer up front, which sucks.
But that's also fine too with its scope, you know?
Yeah. And
This, as you're describing it and looking at it, I'm like, this kind of going on the back of the mind in games that have for my daughter to play, right? As she's almost in August, she turns 2. I'm putting that controller in her hand more and more. See what what's going to click and what's going to be that first thing she latches onto, and we get to play together. Can't wait. But yeah, something like this that what a little more simple and something to grasp on. Again, we were gamers. We play a lot of games. We understand the language, but for people who don't like this, we still need those entry points into gaming. So that's kind of what this seems like, and it piqued my interest in that regard for a child to play eventually.
Yeah, that I kind of mentioned that I did a quick review for it last week. It feels like it should be aimed at a younger generation. I brought up there's the character, anytime you jump or sprint or back out of a jump or land, makes grunts and oofs and stuff that I don't think about now, but it's high pitched and happens so frequently. I turn the sound
Think
effects.
about grunts and boots?
No. But I turned the sound effects down, but then I was like, I play banjo once a year and Kazooie's doing the same thing. It does that thing every time you walk in that game with the talon trot making high-pitched noises. So I'm like, for a kid, they probably don't care. And it's just a fun little sandbox to play in, and not looking at it as that sort of a critical level of things. But yeah, kids, I'm sure it'd be great. The puzzles don't get really crazy as far as like unique guides, obviously. There's a couple times where it does sort of a 3D Mario type thing, where it's got a 2D thing on a wall, and you have to bring things from the 3D world into that 2D world to solve and get through. So that's kind of the highest level of like thought process you need for things, but great time.
Cool.
Nice.
That's also why I was standing still at some of our Mario Strikers games at the start.
I can't we just put more on the plate, my guy. We were getting destroyed, and this guy's saying I'm beating another game at the same time. And I'm here just getting frustrated and man, this sucks. This is not how the first time I played it went. And he's doing something else.
Yeah, gotta leave those waterfalls, man.
Yeah, in between.
3 squares 2 again. I'm out.
We went 1 and 5 versus rookie computers. It was.
I don't want to talk about the scores. Go check the VOD on my stream, on my channel, if you want to watch 2 men get destroyed by a GameCube game.
Brian, I want to toss it to you. Mecha BREAK, your new hotness you had in your predictions when we first had you on.
Yes.
Been playing a ton. How is it? What is it? Is it a good game?
Guys, Mecha BREAK has taken over my life. I've been playing it every day since it came out. 5 days ago? It officially came out. I've been playing so much every single day, and I am happy to report it is a good game. Before release, it had 2 betas, and there's some things that need to be fixing. There was a little bit of screen tearing at some points. The mechs could have used a little bit more adjusting, but it's nice to say that for a free-to-play game, it came out good on release. But yeah, for people that don't know, Mecha BREAK is a free-to-play online mech fighter that is very, very harkened to, if anybody has seen mech anime like Gundam, like Evangelion, is very inspired off of that. It's kind of also like a hero shooter, because you have pre-made mechs that you can then customize with paint jobs, designs, logos, different weapon arsenals. It's very, very surprisingly customizable, which I think a good mech game should be. But yeah, there's 2 main modes. There is kind of the 6v6, team deathmatch, escorts, capture points, kind of like that usual deal. And the one mode I thought wasn't going to be the one everybody sought after. There's an extraction mode called Operation Storm, and basically it is you can either do it free for all or you can do co-op, but I've been doing free for all. So it's basically 8 players drop in onto a map. The entire map is open to you. You run around fighting NPC enemies, collecting loot, and you try to extract. But unlike other kind of like battle royale games, storms just kind of start popping up in random locations in the map, and they just start to slowly expand, engulfing the map. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, you have 5 opportunities to, leave the island kind of thing. So you have to kind of not only survive against the NPCs, but survive against the 7 other players that are out in the world. And of course, you have all your mods that you can customize, changing your stats, outputs, and all that kind of stuff. It has been surprisingly very fun. And what's surprised me more is how intuitive it is. Because when you have, at launch, there's 15 different mechs to choose from. 14. There's about 12 that you can play right away, and there's 11 you can play right away, and 3 more that are, I'm bad at math, but there's 3 that are unlockable, that you can play to earn in-game currency to unlock, but they give everybody a 7-day free trial for those mechs so you can try them out, which I thought was really, really smart. Because I can tell you this, in the past 5 days of playing, I have pretty much played all the different mechs, and I've kind of already gotten down like which ones are my go-tos, which I don't know, for a game kind of like this, I feel like if you were to kind of compare it to, like, let's say Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, you could spend so much time trying to figure out which characters are for you as far as figuring out their kits and whatnot, but they did such a good job of onboarding you to this game, because not only did they have like a single player prologue, but then they have a whole suite that has a training mode that teaches you the basics, and then it teaches you all the mechanics of every single character in detail. So it's never like, I don't know exactly how to be functional with this. It's like, no, this game will tell you how to do that. So I was very impressed, because it's very easy just to be like, go figure it out. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna get my butt kicked for, God knows how long. But I can honestly say I am beyond impressed by Mecha BREAK, and I'm so happy that I am as addicted to this game right now as I thought I would be.
It's really cool, like the onboarding stuff, because I think it's so easy. Yeah, just you learn by playing. Like, hold the right stick down or right bumper, and here's your character screen in Marvel Rivals. And what's that ability? Read it. You'll figure it out. And go to in the hero menu and like 5 pages deep, and then you see a little video that just is on a loop to learn it. That sounds awesome. That like it is way more hands-on and kind of gives you more steps to understand what you're doing, especially for a free-to-play game. That's you hop in for fun and you're like, wait, no, I know what I'm doing. That's really cool. That is something more games need to do is better onboarding. Jesus, looking at Destiny.
And what's wild is that, kind of like you're saying, like they do have like the great like training suite, and they even have challenges in the training suite. So after you learn the basics, you can go like challenge yourself to complete these tasks, and you get rewarded for it. They give you like items and currency for doing the training missions. They encourage you to go do it. And even if you play for a while, there's a page where it literally goes through all the weapons of the mech that you selected, and it has a little video on the corner to remind you this is what this does, and it gives you the explanation in case you need a refresher. So it's like there should be no reason why anybody should not know what a mech does unless if it's their first time playing.
How is it
That's
as
cool.
far as like you made the Overwatch comparison at one point, but like,
Mhm.
are there a lot of abilities going on? Are you having to put hours upon hours to like keep up with everyone else? Or if I jump in as a new player, like, am I getting swamped right away? Is there like levels to knowledge you need to kind of understand over time?
I think it honestly depends on who you get matched up with, because there is like a ranking system. There's also, it is casual too, so you can play casually if you want to. But honestly, it's a who's who of, you know, you could have a match where you're decimating the entire team and like your team is just on it right away and you get the objectives done with and you're good. And then there'll be another match where you get bombarded by these mechs that turn into jets. And then, of course, the sniper is floating in the sky, shooting down upon you. And you just can't do anything about it because you try to get away, but there's no cover. It's a real like mismatch. But what is good, I think, is that they did have enough variety. So it's never like okay, you're going into multiplayer, it's only deathmatch or it's only objectives. Like you could be having a deathmatch in one game, pop back in, it's a payload push, go back in, it's an escort mission, go back in, it's a capture point. It's like there's enough variety to where you can be able to be a team player without even being like the best on the team in this sort of way. And they still do a lot to reward you. So for example, the online like 6v6 mode has an entire table of all the different game modes, and you can legit just pick one of them and it will just tell you, hey, this is this game mode, this is what you need to do, this is what you can do, go in and try it out. And it's like, okay, sick, awesome. And then, of course, there's missions that you can do for your character, for each mech that you can do. And some of them aren't even like, hey, get the most kills in the mech. This is like, hey, you know, try to get like 7 assists with this mech. It's like you don't even have to be the top player to participate and, you know, be involved. You can be in the back line helping out, pick off people with another teammate. You can be that support character that will just cover your like heavy DPS, and then in the meantime you're like hiding behind cover or even like dropping cover out of the sky so that you can be safe. There's so much variety. It is surprising that this game is free.
That was going to be my next follow-up, actually, was with it being free to play, is there, it sounds like there's enough content obviously to keep people going, because like
Oh yeah.
with some things, we'll talk about it here in a bit, probably with Firebreak and with Kyle, but that specifically, to me personally, wasn't a lot there at launch. And I know they're talking about their roadmap and everything, but trying to hit that sweet spot for live service stuff, especially of here's enough to keep you hooked and want to stay for further updates later on.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because as much as I've been gassing up this game, like for the past few minutes, there is still a thought in the back of my mind. It's like, okay, how long is this going to last? Because I will tell you, the one thing that is a little bit confusing to me is their monetization. Because every free to play has to have good monetization or has to have something that gets people to spend money. And right now, personally, for me, I don't know if I'm going to be that person. There's probably going to be, hopefully, some people that will shell out the money to get everything. Because right now, there's a sort of battle pass, quote unquote. It's a early unlock for a unit that you can get just by playing the game. It'll give you bonuses for currency that you get just by playing the game. It'll also give you like special objectives to do. It'll get you more currency. There's obviously the microtransaction store, which is basically all just cosmetics. You know, get costumes, get patterns for your mech, all that kind of stuff. The one thing that is confusing me the most is that there's an actual marketplace for players to sell unwanted items.
Like a Counter-Strike situation, or
Yes.
oh,
So in the escort mode, or the extraction mode, I should say, there are items that you can bring with you, whether it be like extra weapons that you could use for the game, or there's beacons that you can set that will either give you healing, let you ship out some of your loot. So in case you're afraid that you might die, you can at least send some of it away for it to be safe. There's that kind of stuff, and along with that, there's equipment like recon radars and stuff that you can drop into the world, and even you can even like sell, like I saw people doing like custom characters, because like you make a character as your pilot, right? So that you're not a nameless faceless person, you have a character, but you can even sell your designs in the marketplace, and basically people can buy it if they think it's cool or not, or if it's a certain item they need, they can buy it because they haven't been finding it, or they can't get the resources to make it themselves. They can just buy it, and that currency goes to the player that put it on the marketplace. So it is very much like a Counter-Strike situation, which I was very surprised by, because that wasn't in the demo as far as I remember.
Really interesting of where that's going to go long term, or what they're trying to do with that, and is it some gotcha stuff, you know? But interesting.
Yeah, there's some inklings that there might be special like skins for the mechs, but so far there hasn't been any out. Well, correction, there is one, and that's another thing that's really interesting, is that they're also selling special characters that have special skins for like their mech. So there's one character, I forget her name, but she's like an in-game character in the lore that you can pay money so that you can play as her, and then she uses a certain mech that has a skin that gives it special flourishes and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that's what they're planning on doing. It's kind of unclear at this point. We're in like a season 0 kind of situation. So I want to see what happens when like the season 1 stuff starts to kick off, and see like what they bring to the table. But for right now, I honestly don't know how this game's going to make money.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, they're definitely probably trying to figure that out with what they're doing.
For sure.
It seems like they kind of have not too many nets cast, but it's definitely not just one rod cast in the monetization, it seems. So fascinating.
It almost feels like they're trying to do a little bit of everything to see what actually like sticks and where people gravitate towards as far as microtransactions and stuff.
I mean,
which is now the time to speak up, you know? If you're playing the game, if you're like into it, like it's not bad. Monetization doesn't need to be bad and predatory. You just gotta nip it in the bud if it starts to go that way. So if you're passionate about it, say something.
Yeah. I think, but as far as my confusions, I think what they're doing right now is smart as far as what is monetizable. It's nothing that's going to be in-game breaking, which is good.
No super powered mech for 5,000.
Oh my god, that game would fall apart if people were able just to buy souped up kits right away. Oh my goodness.
You don't want super rocket launcher that fires nukes for one-hit kills for $10?
No, because there's somebody that can already do like satellite beam shots from space. I got demolished the other day. I I didn't know where they were coming from.
Gotta look up.
I gotta look up.
What's the game? It's in Game Pass, correct?
Free to play.
It's confusing because it's just free to play, but I know they kind of advertised it as such.
Ooh.
But right now it's only Xbox, only PC.
Okay, so that's kind of is it early access? Because then it's like they've done
No,
deals
this-
like that.
So this is officially 1.0. It's like a full release game. It is crossplay too, which is good.
Oh, that's good.
Not cross progression though, which I thought was curious. But I'm hoping,
That's
like,
unfortunate.
fingers crossed, like if more attention gets on it, maybe they'll put it in later. Hopefully, like, fingers crossed. But
I agree.
you know, for now, crossplay is good. Crossplay is what this game needs.
Yeah, we got crossplay. Now that's just it should be everywhere. Now we need to fight
should
for
be
cross
default.
progression because the fact that Destiny has had that for a long time, and that has been awesome. Like I went to PC on Destiny 2, then I went back to Xbox because my save is transferred. Like, and I could still go to PC if I wanted. It's awesome. Like I played on
It's great.
PlayStation. I've played on like 3-4 different systems because I can, and it's free to play in a way. So, anyways, that's what we need to fight for next.
No, 100%. Like this is coming from me. Like I had 3 different copies of Overwatch because I had multiple different friends that only had one version. And when Overwatch for as much crap as Overwatch 2 got when it came out, the fact that I was able to merge all of those together and I got all of my skins across the board, that was fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah.
That needs to be a default setting for every game that has online.
Agree.
It's worse. I found out this past week, I don't know how, or I think I had a TikTok come up about it, but games doing cross progression with only specific platforms is also a thing now.
Oh,
So I ended up it was a
Ew.
Disney Dreamlight Valley thing. Don't ask me why, but someone was asking how to get their PlayStation progress on PC, which you can't do, but you can from Xbox. Like PlayStation just doesn't allow it. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Sony didn't pay the Disney money.
Sony's out. They spent all their Disney money on Spider-Man.
True.
Kyle, what have you been playing? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I can go talk quickly about this one. I've been playing a ton of Firebreak, FBC Firebreak still. It is clicked for me. We played in, I think, 2 weeks ago when we talked. It was just, the bones are there. It's a fun time. I had a fun time playing it, but I have stuck around to it. I got almost 14 hours into it. I'm looking at my achievements. I'm almost over half of them. I may push to get the achievements because they don't seem that difficult. Honestly, I'm just having a blast with this game. There is a lot of rust around it. There's a lot of things they need to figure out. But even this past week, they did an update where they rechanged the economy because they've realized on the back end, which this is a crazy stat, you can upgrade your perks to level 3 and you have to pay for them and then you equip it, right? Less than 5% of players were buying level 3 perks, had bought level 3 perks. So not even equipping them. Players weren't even upgrading it to that. Less than 5% of players, which again, how many people hopped in and hopped out because it wasn't enough. But when Jaco and I played, it was like, all right, it felt rough. It felt chaotic. The moment I upgraded the revolver, the moment you're upgrading your kit, the next runs feel better. It instantly feels a lot better. And for me, I'm coming away from it, wanting to go back to it, but feeling like the gameplay is a Destiny strike, a 3-man fire team. You're going in to do an objective, and this has way more objectives to do, which I like way more, because it's just doing the objectives, running around, it gets chaotic. There's something about it. I'm having so much fun. On the higher difficulties, you're needing to use some of those abilities and kits more often, definitely felt like I've only played on hard a couple times, but the one time I did it and we all were the same kit. You have 3 different kits, a fix it, a water splash kit, and then a jump kit that's electric. So you can use the electricity to charge something quicker as opposed to pressing bumpers back and forth. And each other one has their own specific thing there. Well, because we had all the same kit, man, it was a struggle. But the next run I did with randos on hard, we all had different ones. They were, oh, that's my job. Let me go there, hit it with the wrench. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's a charge kit. Let me pop it. It just felt smooth. They were, we catch on fire. The guy with water was putting us out. Like once you get to those higher tiers, I feel like it requires you to utilize the perks, utilize the way the abilities and the elements affect you. You're able to, if you're on fire, you can get benefits from that in the perks. So there's a way to build your kits, and I'm starting to see where they're going with that. This is Remedy's first multiplayer game. They get a pass for a while to fix it. They've already responded, hey, we realize we don't have the player count. We realize we need updates. Here's an update. We're updating the economy. Hey, whoa, that messed up some networking. Boom, here's another update to fix that. Our bad. They're super open about it, so I'm all for it. I'm just having a blast with it. It's so much fun. I can't wait for more jobs and to see what the next evolution is. Now that players have their hands on it, now that we're talking about it, right? I want to see just what the next thing is, because I think they could add like a Helldivers 2 type community event where, hey, this weird goop has infected every location, and as a part of your job you're already doing, you have to find the special item to go clear the goop, and it's a giant community goal. They can add stuff like that, and I think that could be the fun nature of to hop in and hop out maybe for months at a time, and that's okay. They were very open about that from the beginning of making this game respectable of your time. You don't need to play every single week, every day, right, to keep up. So have events that go with the flow of that. Like that'd be really, really cool.
Brian, have you played Firebreak at all? Jumped in?
I hopped in the day it came out just to see what it was, and you know, it had its little like moments here and there, but it was something for me that I knew I wasn't gonna sink my teeth into a lot, especially with other games coming out like very soon, and like even before that I was going really heavy into Division 2. So it was interesting, but as far as like that first day, I haven't gone back to it at all.
I played, we've done a couple days now, Kyle, like 2 or 3 I think total. I wish it hit more for me. Like I was excited when this was announced. We talked about it when it was announced and wanting to jump in. The more I've sat on it, I feel it's really like where I'm at just personally for games. Because in my mind, I was like, oh, this would be a Left 4 Dead situation. Hop in friends, just have a blast. And I think nowadays, if Left 4 Dead were to come out, I wouldn't care about it even. Like, just this style and kind of the gameplay rotation doesn't really hit for me. Which I wish I knew why. I wish there was specific reasons I could point out. But I don't think it's something I'm going to give up entirely. I still have it downloaded. I would still be down to hop in every now and then. But as far as making it kind of like a core thing for me with everything else going on, it's just not really there. I'm curious what you said, doing like a community event like Helldivers does. I do think that's kind of something that could bring a lot of people in, or how they do updates and add stuff later on, because I don't think adding just here's a new job is going to be that moving as far as player base or engagement goes. I think it's kind of how they incorporate it into a story or a community thing, or different tiers of difficulty, or the weird stuff they have going on in the missions. I feel it's going to rely more heavily on that than just here's a new job, here's a new class.
Oh yeah.
I will say though, I do appreciate kind of what you said, that it doesn't feel like it's a game that you have to keep playing in order to survive. It can be the like, okay, you know, some friends are on, hop in, play, and then bounce out when you need to, and then kind of go back when you want. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, it would be very interesting to see how this keeps going, and especially since this is their live service game. how they can kind of tie other things in, like some Alan Wake stuff, some Control stuff. They can kind of throw in as like promotion, or just kind of like a nice fun Easter egg for something down the line. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, they've references to Jesse Faden, director, from Control. And yeah, it's in that universe. They're on maps that are like look like they're from the game. I only have played Control. I can only talk about that, but yeah, where's the job that we have to go to the countryside and it's from Alan Wake 2? And we just have to do that, clean up the bodies from. I only watched the opening of Alan Wake 2, so that the man on the table, we have to go clean that up now. Like if they could be cheeky and fun like that. This is a game that's in both subscription services on PlayStation and Xbox. Like that's kind of a win for them. The test almost to see how that works, and people die off, do something cool. Oh, get interest back in, tie it into other games and such. That's what I hope they do. And they have weird lore stuff dropping every now and then. People talk, like if you're on the main menu and it's like, that was interesting. And it's like, I should have listened closer to that. I keep missing it, but they're doing something, and I hope they can tie it in a fun way, at least in a cheeky way where you're like, haha, that's cool.
Yeah.
We got to play some more if either of you are down, because I do think there is unfortunately that time investment is a little needed, but they are addressing that too. They realize that people just aren't interacting with the perk system, and once you do, there's a lot of really cool things you can build on. So it's cool to see a studio kind of figure out something live, right? It's always interesting, and I'm hoping Remedy can pull it off.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's something I mentioned with you when we played that first time, because I played a few before you hopped on, I think, and immediately I was like, I can see the progression path and how much you need to put in as far as upgrades and stuff go, because the resources for that are so little. Like, that feels like a mountain to climb.
Yeah, see, I don't feel the mountain though. And if it's a mountain, I'm enjoying that climb. So it's working for me. And I'm pretty sure it's because the hours I put into grinding Destiny 2 strikes over and over and over, Nightfall and all the Grand Mat. Like there's a pandemic, that's what I grinded. So this is kind of scratching that. I know what I'm doing. I've done this mission. Lock in. What are those ding dongs doing over there? Okay. Oh, now they're helping me. I was a ding dong. My bad, everybody. It also in my brain, I'm like, this is a workplace comedy. It's like we open the door and we all die from the giant fan that blew heat on us, and it's like, oh, look at us, silly people. I'm finding the Remedy charm. It's working for me, but we don't have to keep talking about Firebreak.
I feel like it'd be very easy just to drag and drop like Team Fortress 2 characters into this game.
Yes.
Put the little buddies from that Eek game that's blowing up back in.
Oh my god.
I've not played it.
That's one game you guys definitely need to play if you haven't. It's so much fun. I played with a buddy a little bit, and it is just a blast. Like all it is you climb in the mountain. You got to figure it out before the fog starts to roll in behind you. But it's charming, it's cute, and surprisingly has a lot of variations. The mountain changes every day. There's a timer on the main menu, and it's like once 24 hours hits, the map changes. And everything gets kind of like mixed up, so you never really know what's it going to be on any given day. And then you can there's like 7 tiers of difficulty that you can add on to it. So like you have to like do certain things in order to actually escape. But it is very cute. Definitely recommend it, and it's only like $8.
Love
so
that.
It's like, yeah.
It's such a cool concept. Like I haven't played it, watched a ton of people play it. I don't love watching it. It's one of those games I'm like, if I'm playing it, it's going to be a blast, but just watching people play it, I'm like, I have to be there in the moment. But yeah.
I agree.
Looks really cool. Cool concept. I love games that are like, no, we want you to keep coming back. You're playing with people. It's a cool idea. We'll see how long it lasts, because it's from the same people as we've done other games like that, like Content Warning and such.
Yeah, this was just a game jam game that they did, and they just like, hey, let's make it a full game. Here you go.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Turning course into main topic here, easing into it. We mentioned Helldivers a couple times already this episode, but officially launching on Xbox August 26th, month away. If you are ready to join the fight for democracy, whatever it is, it's dropping on Xbox consoles finally, years after the fact. Crossplay. Kyle said no cross progression with PlayStation, right?
There's cross-play. I don't think there's cross-progression, unfortunately.
There's currently not, so the assumption is there won't be, but Xbox and PC have always had that.
Yeah.
Or not always, but they have that in a lot of ways, so we'll see. It'd be crazy if it wasn't. I doubt they will.
Yeah.
Which sucks, I lose everything on my PlayStation save.
Okay.
Finally happening.
You
People
never
begged
know.
for it. PlayStation third party confirmed. Get everyone riled up. Get your pitchforks. Cry about it. Times are changing.
We need a Spartan armor.
Yep.
We need Spartan armor. We need the battle rifle. I predict that it's going to happen. It's going to be the special unlock like they did with the Killzone stuff. It's going to be a day one Xbox.
Oh, I forgot they had Killzone stuff in there.
Yeah, they've already
Mhm.
done collabs like that. But I thought that too, but the same day Gears of War Reloaded comes out, I think that's more likely. Is they just drop a Gears of War inspired skin. as
Everyone's-
instant,
Ooh, I like
right?
that even
And
better.
then you can
I
It's a
like that even
Carmine.
better.
right? It fits a little better. You have the old one coming out. You just Marcus Phoenix is now a Helldiver.
Oh, dude, it's not Phoenix. It's going to be Carmine. Just dying repeatedly.
Yes.
New
It's gonna be-
Carmine brother
what's
comes
the-
down.
Oh my god. I would love a Carmine skin.
Those
I
are the
wanna
people
be in-
from the most recent one.
I want to be in the
Aw.
family of people who keep dying every game, every Gears of War game that comes out.
I was telling Kyle about it before. If like people that are still playing, or if you want to hop in like Helldivers 2 story right now, the current work order is to pave way for a brand new training facility to accommodate new recruitment drive going on Super Earth. So it's like actually storyline building up for the Xbox players to come in. This is neat.
They're
More
making
games
it on
need to do
Planet
that.
Reach.
We got glassed.
Not yet.
Not
The
yet.
Covenant are going to be in this game.
Yeah.
No, it's an awesome thing. As soon as the game came out, everyone said, yeah, Xbox, right? Because it is the type of game that should be everywhere. Just that type of fun game. So awesome to see. I will be picking this up. I gotta support it. Gotta support these games coming over because you got to. It's awesome. And I can't wait to play it. And I really hope they do just go full lean all into the cross stuff and cross progression. Still holding out hope. But yeah, those skins would be cool. I really hope there's an Xbox branded skin. Not branded. Oh, wait, I do want the like an Xbox armor. Dumb bright ass green. Phil as the cape, his face.
We'll call it the
No,
Duke.
you're on to something. I hope
Yeah.
there's some IP
Hey.
crossover like Killzone because that just would help. Just get us past this dumb, silly people stuck in the warring and just be like, look, we're done. Can we have fun with it now? Can we have fun?
Games
Kratos
everywhere.
is in Halo Infinite. How? I don't know. We're doing it.
I'm excited. I need one more now by the end of the year to get my prediction right for 2 PlayStation
That's true.
games going over. It's happening, my guy. The only thing I'm upset about is that they waited this long to start doing it, because half the fighting and shit online the past year wouldn't have happened if PlayStation also had something. But being a one-sided, Xbox is dying, blah, blah, blah. PlayStation isn't doing this because they don't need to. Shut up. It's happening. Multi-platform everywhere, except Nintendo. They're down the street cooking whatever they're doing in their own little world. They're like Willy Wonka down
Nintendo
there.
is sitting pretty on their throne made for one on the island of one.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Helldivers 2 news came 2 days, I think, after the big topic we're going to focus on here for the rest of the show, that people on all sides have thoughts, opinions on. The internet's dying. July 2nd, 2025, Xbox announced that they are doing across the board, not just Xbox, Microsoft layoffs, totaling 9,000 employees total. This is the fourth major layoff at Xbox in 18 months. Included in those layoffs is Initiative, the quadruple A studio formed in 2018 to make Perfect Dark. Closed entirely. Perfect Dark canceled. Rare was hit with layoffs, which pissed me off. Everwild canceled, probably for the better. With longtime Banjo-Kazooie and Sea of Thieves director leaving the studio, along with I have to get her name. Another director underneath him who has also been there. If you've played Viva Pinata, she voiced Leafos, the main character. She voiced Conker's girlfriend in Conker's Bad Fur Day. Also left the studio. 50% of Turn 10 has been laid off for his motorsport team. King and ZeniMax has been hit with layoffs. The new ZeniMax online IP has been canceled. Multiple Call of Duty studios have been hit with layoffs, and 50% of Xbox user research team has also been laid off. Head of Child and Family Safety laid off. Day or two after, Blizzard announced they were affected with Warcraft Rumble. Their mobile game has been officially put in maintenance mode with no further new content being added, which probably for the better. I don't even play in that game, but whatever. That's the one I'm like, yeah. But God. Also, after this, it came out that I believe Seattle newspaper, most of these layoffs are due, in fact, to Microsoft refocusing resources and development help, / whatever you want to call it, into AI infrastructure and AI assets going forward. What the fuck are we doing? I need to... every year we're going over this. Every other month we're going over this. We've talked about this more than anything else since we've started this podcast. Just recurring layoffs. Oh, we're doing record numbers. We're making record sales. We're doing this and that, and we're leading the charge and making this the top creative place for developers and players to... Also, we're laying off thousands of people. What are we doing? The math ain't mathin'. Xbox is out here taking 2 steps forward, kneecapping themselves off at the every chance they can. As far as media goes around them and news around them goes, every good thing's got a graveyard behind them that they built it off of. I'm just worried. The AI stuff has me worried. We saw before the AI recreation of Bleeding Edge doing games. If we're going to be putting more of that into stuff, your project's going to be lifeless. The soul behind games is going to be gone. You're chasing a future that I honestly don't think it's ready to be at if we are including AI and stuff. Personally, like, it's in that weird uncanny valley of this don't look quite right. And if every game starts looking kind of weird and goofy and off and art assets or story beats being created by that, like, I don't know. I'm upsetty.
No, it's, I mean,
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. It's just, you know, hey, you're there. It's a big corporation, Microsoft, making a ton of money, getting a ton of money and subsidies and contracts from government, most likely. I just don't know if that's official or whatnot. But you know, they have deals. They're doing stuff that's chasing this AI trend, and unfortunately, we know what Microsoft is doing with their Azure stuff being attached to the genocide going on, and it's just, oh shit, okay, big corporation doing nasty stuff. Oh, cool. And when you read this and you see all this, it's okay. Big corporation who is we known as already gave a mandate to say use more AI in stuff. We want to across the board in our company. We want to see people use more AI. All right, and this comes out and it's all in the gaming space where developers are like, like, AI could be cool, but not in the way the generative. Like, there's a lot of ways it's not good, right? At the very end, AI is not ready to be just here, go, use. It's not there yet. And like, it just sucks to see these hit the developers the hardest. And it's not an Xbox saying, we need to do this. To me, I just see it's all from the big corporate Microsoft being like, these games are not making money. When we look at player data They are not playing games that cost money to buy. They're all playing Fortnite for free. So why are we making a triple A game from an IP that when we research it, it does nothing? Like when they announced it, we were like, whoa, a triple A studio for Perfect Dark? It was
Quadruple
confusing
A.
why they were bringing that back. And then they were saying quadruple A. Yeah, apologies. So like that's management, that's Xbox right there. And then you have the corporation looking down saying, why are we doing that? Yeah, tax it. We spent too much money. Players are not looking at those type of games. They're all playing in the free games. We need to stop hemorrhaging money on these projects and look at the other side, and we can have AI help us. And it's bullshit. It's sad, but it comes down to bad management from the first place in Perfect Dark. That's just bad management coming out saying we want to make a quadruple A. What does that mean? Was the other A was AI? Oh, damn.
God, gross.
That's unfortunate.
And of course,
it's
you
sad.
also have to drag Crystal Dynamics into it too.
Oh yeah, they weren't even working it on their own. Like that's another mismanagement of the studio. Their first game, they were being supported by a whole other third party.
You already
for
had a
them.
game that failed, and so adding another game that gets canceled on top of that probably isn't good for them either.
Yeah.
Oof. Yep.
Real quick, just out of respect for the names, Greg Males and Luis O'Connor were the two from Rare I blanked on their names from. Which again, like, I'm not trying to be like, these two matter more than the rest of the employees, but for like Rare players, they don't hire voice actors. Like the development staff does the voices. So you recognize these people over years and all the games they've been in. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like these prominent voices in Perfect Dark and Viva Pinata and Conquer, like, just gone.
And for Greg Malis too, it's like he's been there
35
pretty
years.
much since the beginning, for almost the entire time Rare's existed. Like I'm just like looking at some of his like he's done stuff for, you know, Battletoads, he's done stuff for Banjo-Kazooie, he's helped design Diddy Kong, like the character. Like he's done a lot of stuff like just within Rare itself, and it's really sad to see somebody who knows up until this point was, you know, really hoping for Everwild to work, but I guess, you know, whatever was going on. That's the other thing that's confusing. I think it's become a thing at this point to whenever there's an Xbox game that we haven't seen in a while, and then Phil Spencer says that he saw it recently and it's looking good, just expect that game to be canceled. Because that's
been at least twice.
I think
right?
this is like the second time this has happened so far in the span of like not even a couple years. It's been very recent. I'm scratching my head on what the first one was. I can't remember.
The first, it's not the same thing, but Hi-Fi Rush was the same thing where the game launched successful. They visited the studio
Tango,
and
yeah.
then gone.
Yeah. It sucks because, well, obviously, because 9,000 people just lost their job. That's 100% a bummer. And, you know, this shouldn't be happening, but it is, unfortunately. And also, again, we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, so we can't really point a finger, even though we can kind of make an educated guess on who's the one that's giving the marching orders at this point. I mean, we've talked about this before. Xbox has been struggling for a long time. It's only in the past 2 years that we've kind of looked at Xbox being like, oh man, you know, like that looks like they're gearing up to, like, you know, come back in full force. But every time there's good news, there's always bad news that comes in after that just kind of tanks optimism. Kind of same thing happened last year. Like we had a really cool developer direct in the beginning of the year, and there was some bad news about some layoffs and stuff like that, and canceling stuff here and there. But then we had the Summer Game Fest showcase. It was really good. And it's like, oh man, we're getting so many cool first-party Xbox games coming in the near future. You know, regardless if you believe that they would ever come out or not, it was very optimistic. And then, of course, more news like this comes out, and it's like, well, shit. All right, well, there goes any more good news that we could have had before. And the same thing's happening again this year. Had a pretty good developer direct, had a pretty good Summer Game Fest showcase, and I'm honestly at this point, I hope everybody that's there underneath the Xbox team, keeps doing really cool stuff, keeps pushing forward, and keeps doing their best. But I wouldn't be surprised within maybe 2 years, Microsoft completely just takes over the Xbox division.
I'd say they already have. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of this is.
I think we're seeing like the underlying them kind of seeping in and like kind of like, okay, Phil, you need to do this for us now. Go, do our bidding. And like at this point, let's just make Xbox let's just turn Xbox into Sega. Let's just make them a publisher. Because if they're worried about how they're going to be selling next-gen consoles and like other peripherals like that, just nix it all together and then just become like, even like keep Game Pass, have that as a streaming service, but then just like do everything else as a third-party publisher. Because I'm just looking at this list right here. And what a way to celebrate 20 years of Turn 10 by pretty much devouring almost the entire studio. And obviously, like I'm reading this, I pulled up this article from IGN, and the people who are left over at Turn 10 said pretty much, okay, the Motorsports franchise is dead.
Yeah.
Because everybody that's left over, we're just going to become a support studio for the Horizon team. Because we don't have enough people to make Motorsport anymore. Motorsport was like a Xbox first generation game that helped put Xbox on the map. And it's a storied Xbox studio that has been very, very consistent. There's some Motorsport games that, had better reception than others, but overall it was majority positive, and this is what they do to them.
The thing for me, the Forza Motorsport one is so hard because with Forza Horizon, I feel like Motorsport for a long time has just easily been second fiddle and going down, 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 down. And with this most recent game, they wanted it to be a restart. Like they went back to just Forza Motorsport, no number, and trying to make it more not live servicey, but like a platform almost. So now that they're here, I mean, I have it installed, but I haven't touched it in so long. They don't tell us the numbers, but unfortunately, when you have a corporation looking down, it's like you don't have enough people playing the car game, and you're making the other car game that just sold X amount on PlayStation. Yeah, go invest in that. I mean, it's a brutal thing, and it does lose. I get what the argument is there, but I also think we're just not. People aren't talking about. Like it's like Forza was this, yeah, but now that's Horizon. Like Horizon is now taking that mantle. To me, Motorsport that's just the cool tech, unfortunately, and it's been like that for a while. I feel, even though it gets 9s and 10s every year. It's hard, and it's also hard to talk about this. Like, it sounds like it sucks that people lost their job. They shouldn't have. It's bad management if you're not gonna be able to keep people on to finish through or to help them. Yeah, right. So.
Yeah.
Turn 10 should have just been closed entirely. If that's what they're going to do and just make them a support, like, don't even have it as a support studio, move the people over. Because at that point, we have this studio as a number on a board or whatever, but I agree, like, Forza Horizon has been the top thing. Motorsport, I know you said you had it installed. I honestly go back to it once a week. This is the first Motorsport I've played, because it hasn't been my thing. I wasn't a fan of the more not arcadey but realistic mechanics behind it, but I have a blast with it, and it looks great, and they've done a lot to turn it around. But if you're going to gut the studio by half, and people who aren't aware that they're just going to support and are waiting for a new Motorsport, like, why have them as an asset to begin with? Because cutting half the studio isn't going to suddenly make a better project, honestly.
And what I'm curious, because now that it seems like Playground is going to be the Fable Horizon studio, do you take the team that makes Horizon and just push them away and then take whoever left at turn 10 and just make the Forza studio? Or do you have Playground juggling Fable and Horizon now? Because I think they've made it pretty clear that once the Fable reboot comes out, they want Playground to be making both. And I don't know if that's going to be feasible, because I don't have the number in front of me, but I don't think Playground Games is that big of a studio. As far as I'm pulling up the number.
June 2025,
Okay, so-
Playground 545.
Okay, so they've had gotten a bit more. That's good. But it kind of just goes back to, okay, what do you do? Because for as very successful as Horizon has been, I mean, the smart thing to do would be to take who's ever left at turn 10, just throw them into Playground, and there you have the experience of at least what they've done with Forza, and then just start putting more of that into Horizon, because it's really unfortunate, because like literally like turn 10 like made the engines that made Forza look so good.
Yeah.
And of course after a while Horizon started to get there too, especially at this generation of console. Like they stepped it up a whole bunch, just like presentation wise. It's always been a really good franchise on its own, but
I could see that the prestige being why you don't close that studio and just merge it. Either way, like the name of Playground and turn 10, that holds weight more than like the physical games to me, because to me it was like, if Bethesda was just Elder Scrolls, I wouldn't be a huge Bethesda fan. So I think it's almost a similar case with Motorsport and Horizon, to me at least. Like, I'm getting lost on that one, but
Devils, before you move on,
I think you can't like, I think you just can't. I could see them keeping the name up, and we're in a Horizon year, so both studios are focusing on that. Fable is a weird one. Once they get Fable, they're going to have a little sub studio that's just Fable. But then I think turn 10 and Playground focus on Horizon. And now it's turn 10 Motorsport year. If that's what they want, an update or a new game, then part of that Playground team will shift to turn 10. And I think, it's hard to lose the name at that point. But again, then who cares about the name? That's my personal opinion. But I could see the focus shifting between the three, and unfortunately losing. If you hired people specifically to help run a Forza Motorsport type game experience, and that's not what your new focus is going to be, because you have to change your decisions again. Yeah, you cut people. Which is the sad side.
I didn't think about it until Brian said it, but I'm thinking about it now. I'm shocked they didn't change the name and just have it do Forza Studio. Because that's kind of been Xbox's thing already. We have the Coalition, a Gears of War themed name for a Gears of War studio. We just had Halo Studios become a thing to make Halo. So why not just make it Forza Studios? You start going.
They just keep it turn 10.
Do PlayStation people know that? Like, if you have Forza Studios on a PlayStation thing, like, okay, this is a Forza thing. Turn 10, I don't think they care or know what that means. And with them going more third party, like, your PlayStation gamers, the people who aren't in the know, my brother who plays FIFA only, like, turn 10, whatever, but you see Forza Studios, Forza coming out, that I think would mean more at that point. 343 Studios, what does that mean
if they start having Halo Studios, Forza Studios, Gears Studio? I mean, they have the Coalition, but like, it's like, all right, don't start doing that, corporation. But I can see that happening. It makes sense not to do it right away. If it's like a layoff and it's like Microsoft is like, Xbox, go do these things and this is how it shakes out. That's not Xbox saying, hey, we're getting rid of people because we're reorganizing our studios. That's, we need to cut costs and this is what we're doing. Okay, now what do we do? So that totally could see renaming it under one umbrella, and then probably post Fable though. I can't imagine them reorganizing stuff like that pre Fable. I'd imagine it's ship it out and then the next Horizon, whatever, because that's not this year. We don't, I can see it. They just need to get Fable out. If they don't get Fable out next year, oh no. Oh no.
To be big devil's advocate, but like there's a part of me, I honestly say it's a 50-50 we even get Fable.
Oh no, don't do that.
It'd be foolish for them to cancel Fable.
I think Playground has such a good record. I think it's because of everything Playground has done, they've earned it. And Fable on top of it being what Fable is to Xbox. I think this is a one thing that they delay and it came out like a South of Midnight type delay. Like, hey, we don't need to, so we're gonna push it out. We may actually need it, so we're gonna push it out. Who knows where they're at? I just, oh man.
I don't know. To me, in my realistically, we've seen as much Fable gameplay, quote unquote, as we did Perfect Dark.
Shut up! Don't do that.
And if it was just we need this year to polish or whatever it was, like, who's to say? Because even now there's stuff with that Perfect Dark gameplay that it wasn't actually part of the game. Like, it was designed just for that kind of showcase and wasn't representative of what the game is. And if we're at that part with Fable, because realistically, we've seen the same cinematic gameplay of what the gameplay could be. Like, I'm more negative on this stuff. Obviously, we've talked about this enough to know that, but there's a part of me, I'm like, Fable's up in the air, honestly.
I think they're, because at the end of the showcase this year, like, they made it a big deal, like, oh, Xbox is going to have their anniversary next year, and Fable was like one of the first things that Phil Spencer talked about, and it's like, and a bunch of like Gears, and assumedly a Horizon game, and people speculated that a Halo game was coming out next year, maybe. But I think at this point, they need to release it whether or not it's decent. Like, it could come out being average, but they need that game to come out, because if they have a highly anticipated game from Xbox, an Xbox first brand studio game, get canceled again like this, I don't think there's no coming back. Like, you've lost all credibility at this point.
That one would be the unforgivable one, just because there's just too much around what it is and everything, and back up the runway leading up to a potential cancellation of Fable. Yeah, no, you can't. That's just, you are then a publisher. You are just, I don't know.
With the way they are, I don't think they care though. Like, if it was a first party exclusive pointing at Xbox gamers only, then that's an unforgivable. You lost the fan base. But they're so far past this that the people who are still sticking around in the ecosystem of Xbox, it sucks, but the wider audience they're aiming at now probably doesn't even know or care.
But then it just becomes something different. And I think, that's why you lose that console base, right? And I don't think it's even likely that Fable doesn't come out. I think it is like a sure lock. I think the way they are doing things, it just seems like there's a Halo remaster. They're now like they said Halo Studios has something in October at Halo Championship. They're going to show off whatever they're working on. That times out perfectly for next year, having Halo remaster, a Gears E-Day, and a Fable. Like, whoa, crazy. And a Secret Horizon. They got like Outer Worlds. Or what's the studio?
Who?
Outer Worlds.
Obsidian?
Obsidian,
thank you. Obsidian had Avowed and Outer Worlds this year. Fable, and
Grounded 2.
And they're having 3 actually. So like, it's an interesting conversation. I really just Fable is coming out to me. and they're just trying to build up hype for the next thing, and that's next year, right? Their anniversary, they're going full bore. This year we're gonna have a great first half. Oh no, we're gonna have some bad news. Get through the year. You could see the PR balancing and messages.
Well,
Do you guys think they should keep being so open and communicative in the ways they are, like going on podcasts and interviews? We'll see if this week they do it post layoffs and how they communicate. But we talk about Phil as in Phil, right? We're saying, oh yeah, Phil. Like, they are people, right? They are the faces of this brand. But is that a detriment to it when Nintendo and PlayStation don't do that anymore and aren't like? Do you think that's doing more harm than good because they constantly seem to have their foot in their mouth, and it's like, well, things change. Like, Jacob, you were saying either earlier or yesterday, they had it was just 4 games they were going to start with, like, and then they went back on their word. I'm paraphrasing, right?
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, well, they said they're going to start with the 4 games and see, but that's a messaging, and like, anyways, my question, like, do you think they're too open?
I mean, maybe. Is, if you give a company a face, it's very easy to be like, you are the one that's going to take the brunt of all of our frustration, for better or for worse. I don't know, maybe. But it seems like, Xbox in general isn't going to change that anytime soon, because recently there's an article saying that Phil Spencer might step down once we get towards the next generation of Xbox. And it seems like they're gearing up for Sarah Bond to be the next head of Xbox. So we're not going to be...
Which she is president of Xbox. Phil is CEO of Microsoft Gaming.
Yep.
So we are actually already there.
I mean, we see a lot more of her now than we do see of Phil.
Yeah, that's why
she
I like
was
on
all
stage.
over this. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, you notice in their shows, it's always like their studio person, Matt Booty, and then Sarah talks about hardware and the brand Xbox, and then Phil's like, look at everything. Yeah, so we're already there. So, like, I mean, obvious. That report, which has now been
they're like
the Xbox has said
person came
no.
out,
That's exactly. But it makes sense for someone to release a console, to release a product in any industry, and then once that product is out and you're good to go, you step aside. Didn't Reggie did that with the Nintendo Switch, right? So
he did that
is
with
not a
Nintendo Switch
surprise.
and GameStop.
That's true. Yeah, so like that makes sense. That's not a crazy weird report. Again, that felt more like, oh, it's really not going well over there. And it's like, well, no, of course, like, that's just life. People move on, and he's gonna probably go off and make $1 billion more somewhere. Sarah Bond will step up and then go to another phone company and make $1 billion more somewhere.
For your question on that, Kyle, I think I even said this last year when they did that roundtable and said it was the 4 games. At this point, how open they've been and how they interact with influencers specifically online, to me, has done infinitely more harm than good. It's taken that parasocial relationship to personal levels and kind of has given certain people free reign to report and have opinions that they are able to push out as truth more often than not. Not to drop names, I don't want to do that because it's what they do, how they get their living, whatever, but content creator A last year, when we were talking about the 4 games going over, live on a podcast, does a fake react on his phone to, I just got a message from someone at Xbox that says they're not doing full platform, multi-platform across the board. And like does it for a memeable moment that gets captured in views. I'm like, that's shitty because people believe you even though they shouldn't. Like, why? I get you want the views, but it pushes a bad narrative going forward. Or insiders who have personal leak knowledge on issue A, B, and C, and you get stuff like the Phil stepping down that Microsoft comes out and disregards. Like, no, it's not happening. These people aren't like in the know.
Mm-hmm.
And like, at first, from an outside perspective, cool. Aaron Greenberg's doing lunch with people at the showcase watch party and they have this connection, but then it allows this level of false narratives and wanting to push your own kind of wishes and hopes as truth because you have that connection. You can push it off as I have insider knowledge, I have in the know stuff, which it hurts the brand. You said PlayStation doesn't do it. I have watched a couple of PlayStation focused people like Mystic, and it's purely speculation and purely from the heart. It's not trying to push an ideology that most Xbox content creation is about. And you have these people dying on a hill over Game Pass and standing up for Xbox's new thing, whether people like it or not. And it's the narrative that we need to go with, which if you believe it, and that's where, like you're Kyle, you're all in Xbox everywhere, let me play my games everywhere. You believe in that. Like, you don't have narratives in the back end to push with that and be in good graces to keep getting insider touches or get review codes, or it's an unbiased thing, and that's fine. But the higher up people that do have thousands of viewers and thousands of subscribers, like, they need to kind of keep up that agenda to me, which feels disingenuous at the end.
Sorry. Yeah, you're getting on the grifting side of stuff, and like this week especially, and I've seen a ton of creators, Paris Lily out there on X doing the work, just calling out people who are like praising the layoffs with console warring, and it's like that's not what the layoffs are about. Like, it's a big corporation making a decision from a board and shareholders saying cut, and they're like, okay, if they had the money, they wouldn't do the cuts like that, and they do have the money. They just say they don't because it's in their pockets. But that's a whole other topic. But turning this into something that more is like ridiculous and it's tiresome. And even like I've been doing this for over a year now. My wife loosely gains knowledge. It's like the animus, whatever, when you bleed through effect and you learn how to be an assassin because you've been in the assassin world and in the animus too long. What a weird reference. He's like catching on video game stuff, and she's like, everyone is just so anti-Xbox, and it's so just no matter what, it's viewed in that hard way of, oh, Xbox is failing. It's like, no, God, what about PlayStation doing the same damn exact thing? Like having layoffs and closing multiple studios because they mismanaged and went in a direction that wasn't right either. It's the same, but because they've been so vocal, people are like, all right, well, we can respond, and now we're here. As you were talking, I'm even thinking, have they even been that vocal this past year, though? They had Developer Direct, Summer Showcase. When else have they like really come out and done big talks and interviews like they have years, like, is it just because they, just because they come on stage and do those shows that we physically see a body that we're here now? It's like,
I think it's a compounding thing, because for the longest time, like, Xbox has been kind of like that front-facing company, or front-facing like gaming studio, but it's harder to kind of pinpoint down, because to Jocko's point, like, the other companies don't really do that anymore. Like, we know that Doug Bowser is the head of Nintendo America, but we don't see him that often. We'll see him at like certain press junkets, or like, Twitter pictures that he took with some people or whatever. And I had to look up who the head of PlayStation is. Hideki Nishino, who just became the head of the CEO of SIE in April. It's like, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who that was, but like, everybody that knows Xbox knows Phil Spencer. Like, they know that's the thing. And like you're saying, like, they don't do, like, there'll be sporadic interviews when it's a Gamescom, or it's a Summer Game Fest or whatever. There'll be sprinklings every now and again, but you're right, there isn't that much happening in one given year. But I think it's just the back-to-back year after year, there's always bad news coupled with somewhat good news, and it's just backing up year after year. And not to say, hey, PlayStation has had it's bungles too. I mean, 12 live action or 12 free to play games as a service kind of games. Half of them have been canceled already. You know, we know that story, but it's a weird phenomenon where it doesn't hang around as often as Xbox news does. And it might just be the way people interact online. Like it seems like, you know, whatever Xbox does, there's always a mob of people that will sing to the high heavens of how they knew that Xbox was a failing brand and stuff like that.
And then then you hear one voice and you turn around and Xbox is a part of the crowd, adding something else to the pile. And you're like, what are you guys doing? Why are you hurting yourselves as well? And it's Microsoft with the layoffs, with the we're going to close Tango Gameworks. It's like, what? That was a great game, even though there's like stuff behind the scenes that we never will know about of how that game got made, like, and interesting things.
And just to finish my thought, I think the one major difference as to why bad news from Xbox lasts longer than bad news from a Nintendo or a PlayStation, and I think it's because you can point to PlayStation and be like, oh man, there's some really good stuff coming from PlayStation. Oh man, Nintendo just released a new console. There's a whole bunch of new stuff on the horizon. There's new stuff now that we can look forward to. Here's Xbox.
There's Doom.
We got
you
Doom.
bought it though. There's Call of Duty.
We got some third party stuff coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
They don't have the benefit of a doubt from the Xbox One generation. They lost the benefit of a doubt from the player base because they had to rebuild. Like, instead of like striking while the iron is hot, they had to rebuild that entire generation. And for the Series X and S generation, it took them until last year to actually like get to a point where it's like, hey, we got stuff. It's going to be cool. Like, we're going to give you Starfield. You're going to get, a whole bunch of new games. We got Fable on the way. Don't worry, there's going to be stuff coming.
And even then you're like, there's stuff. Because
exactly.
Yeah, that's just
because
where it's
then
at.
we look at this news and it's like, we have Everwild get canceled. We have Perfect Dark get canceled. We have the ZeniMax MOBA that they were planning on also
was
get
not
canceled.
unlike Destiny, as one quote said, that's interesting, whatever that meant.
And it's interesting because it's like, ZeniMax, the people that like struggled and made Elder Scrolls Online successful to this day. And I understand that it takes a lot of money to make an MMO. It takes a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of time. And it's very obvious that Microsoft didn't want to wait and spend that money on a new MMO when Elder Scrolls is already making the money that they want. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just PlayStation, Nintendo has stuff to make people excited. Where Xbox fans, it's like, well, we have hopes. Yeah. We have the horizon, not horizons, but the horizon of possible games.
Yeah, but you saying like Xbox doesn't have the benefit of the doubt anymore is a very good way of putting it, because they keep telling us stuff, but they keep backing down. And yeah, how I'm in the system and I'm like, eventually it'll come to me, cool. But again, it is eventually, and they give us Starfield, what up? Even I'm like, and I'm like, Indiana Jones, Bethesda game that's they're in a different position than the other studios. Just optically, right? Just from the optics alone and the marketing, they just are in a different position. And I think you see them leveraging where they're at and starting to manage and shift for the next era, which is you're going to be able to access the Xbox platform anywhere: phone, PC, PlayStation console, Switch console, maybe. Our console, our last year's console, Xbox One, the S1, you can cloud game to it. We don't care. Like, that's where they're moving to, which is cool. But man, the growing pains suck. The optics suck. The marketing kind of blows. I do wonder if I mean, not really a question, but Phil's definitely acting like a shield almost to Sarah Bond, which is kind of a good thing because she can just come out and be like, look at the cool stuff we have, like this handheld that we made for Xbox. And you're like, whoa, cool. And then Phil gets all the flack, which is interesting.
I mean, it's kind of the job as like a CEO to be that face and be that shield for the company, because you know, we were just saying, he is the face of the company. You're going to get the good, you're going to get the bad. It's unfortunate, but that is kind of what, unfortunately, you signed up for, being the head of Xbox.
That benefit of the doubt comment you made perfectly encapsulates not what I've been talking about on Twitter for the past couple of weeks, and I haven't been able to put it into words, which it's the perfect way of wording it though, where you say that Xbox has stuff. In my eyes, Xbox has the most going on to be excited about that people just don't care about. PlayStation has resetting all the studios from the live service thing. We're canceling projects left and right. We're restructuring. But we announced Intergalactic at the Game Awards. That's all anyone talks about because it's Naughty Dog. They have that prestige. That's enough for people to stick around. Where they have, oh, we may be working on a PS6 and oh, PSVR 2 failed and oh, the Portal's a thing. But Xbox has, we have the ROG Ally happening. We're openly talking about new hardware and how excited we are about it. You can play stuff anywhere. You mentioned stuff for games. We still have Clockwork Revolution coming out. State of Decay 3 still happening. Blade's still there. OD's still there. But people just don't care. Doom came out, like you said. Indiana Jones comes out, and it's a dust in the wind after a week. And at this point in time, I'm physically can't comprehend that people aren't more excited about what they're doing and going out and buying PlayStation 5's hand over fist. Not saying that you need to buy an Xbox, so you don't anymore. You can play the games anywhere, but the media rotation and people's perception and how people view what they're doing, they just don't care. When they have a constant window of updates for games, Diablo 4 is going strong. Warcraft's entering its most excited part it's been in a decade. Like, they have stuff happening. They have projects going on hardware and software and communications and just everything across the board, but it's just not stable. Maybe the thing that people want to go to PlayStation for because they know that, oh, Naughty Dog's doing a new thing. That's probably going to be a Game of the Year contender, top seller thing. Or you look at Fable, it's like, that may be good. Indiana Jones was okay. Doom was okay. It's just that weird perception that people just have with them at this point in time that if they didn't have those stumbles leading into this year, they'd be sitting so high right now as far as...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Which I will say, like, that is a lot to like the hardcore people who listen to and watch and make content and watch content at the very minimum about video games, right? Like, when you know, and you get in those bubbles. But for the person who just turns on and they happen to have Game Pass and yeah, a new update, cool. Like, they do have that user base, and I don't think they care about the negative side of it. So with what you're saying, like, the people don't care about all the stuff coming out. Well, they don't care if they're not into it, but for the person that is, they do care. And I think that's what Xbox is like building for, is just more avenues of like more people. They don't really care about the hardcore audience, really. So when they're looking at their metrics, they're considering the Fortnite and the free to play stuff and how many people are active on Game Pass and what that looks like and the attach rate to when people jump on and when they hop off, right? Or like when they drop a game. Oh, look, when we put 3 games out in the same week, every game gets played as opposed to one game, right? I did that multiple times. If there's more, like all these games came out for some reason, I hop into each one when it's on Game Pass. So they're just doing these different things, and it's weird. It doesn't make sense in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of trial and a lot of error. Ooh. But I just think we oftentimes forget the casual person who in the family, right? Who they have Xbox and they don't really care about all the hoopla around it. The PS5 Pro, what? Hey, okay. Does it play the games? Cool. And that's all you need. And I think that's what Microsoft is going for, and being everywhere is starting to grab more people. But with what you're saying, like that's your experience and what you're seeing, no one cares about it, and that's valuable because then you go online and you see, oh, Xbox sucks. Why'd my mom and dad buy me this? Like, why are we a part of this? Like that continues on. It's like, oh, there's no good games. Oh, mom, I need a PlayStation. All my friends at school have a PlayStation. Like that continues on. So you still need to lose the doubt that people are carrying for Xbox and be like, no, this shit's dope. Like the new Halo Infinite season dropped and we have to get in instead of, oh, a new season, cool. Like, and that's across the board for a lot of their stuff. I love the platform, the variety, but yeah, it's that you need to get people excited, and it's not exciting being on Xbox right now. It's just more, it's just where I go to game.
Which that literally last week, Thursday, my boss pulled me into his office and he's like, yo, I just bought a PS5 Pro and like all this stuff. He's like, and he literally told me, like verbatim was, I wanted to get a new console for when GTA 6 comes out and want the best place to play GTA 6. Like, okay, yeah, you got a PS5, whatever. And he's like asking me about PS Plus, and I'm like explaining the service to him and all the stuff it can do. And he made the comment, and he's like, oh, I saw Xbox games are on PlayStation now. Why are they doing that? Whatever. And I'm like explaining the multi-platform push, but I'm also like, they have Game Pass and all their stuff is in there day one, and you can play it on your TV and play it on your phone, and all those talking points that they're trying to push that I told him about. He was like, oh, that's cool, but not like a nothing burger for him, essentially, because
it's too much info.
Yeah, he's like, okay, but PlayStation 5 is still the best. Like, that's where I'm gonna get the best image and stuff on my GTA 6. I'm like, I mean, I guess if that's what you want, but like, there's all this other stuff that they're wanting to do, and you could have all this other stuff on Game Pass, and trying to throw that out at somebody, like he said, it's too much.
Yeah, and that's why, like, you could see their marketing. This is an Xbox. That's the simplification of it. They still haven't put it into effect, though. Really, it's still really complicated. I just want to be able to now, like, oh, go into the browser and it looks like my console, and I have like I have my library, and it just looks different. There's too many hurdles and too many steps. They're close, but when they keep laying off people, who cares? Like when they're that's where we're getting at, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's definitely a unique situation that Xbox is in, just because they have so much like looking ahead. That's good for them. Like when they bought Activision Blizzard, like we even know, like they said, like, oh, don't worry, this will never come to layoffs. It's like it's gonna happen. It's like it's unfortunate, but it's always something that's guaranteed. When one company buys a big company, that stuff is gonna break down over like the next few years. And this, I would not be surprised if this is just more of that. And it's probably gonna keep happening, which is unfortunate. And is there ever a future where you're going to be able to erase all of that negative like perception? No. It's, you know, it's the internet. There's going to be people that are very not well intentioned, that are going to be trying to strive for that console war that's been going on in their heads for decades at this point.
The people digging up 5-year-old tweets this week.
Oh God, yeah. It never
You changed your opinion after 5 years. Woke.
The situation of like the financial structure has changed, and you're going back on what you said when you were in the situation back then. I was like, okay, calm down. But like, to your point, there is a lot to look forward to from Xbox. They just need to find the way, and they're finding their way of trying to explain it to people of how to do it, like how they just released or they just announced, I don't know if they're released yet, but their special meta quest.
Yeah, that's out. Yeah,
that's out. So that's just one more way to do it. And I think once the handheld comes out and we finally get to see what this Xbox OS is going to be, hopefully that will be their answer to kind of make this way more streamlined. It's like, hey, Xbox OS lets you just do what you need to do. Or it'll be a nice streamlined one package here. This is Xbox. This is literally what we're advertising you. You just need to get the Game Pass subscription and this is yours. But until that point, they're gonna have to keep ironing out the confusion and the misconceptions of what Game Pass is and what Xbox is. I'm not a businessman. I do not know how they're going to be able to do that, but
you manage a $1 trillion company like Satya Nadella? What the hell?
No one should be managing that much. No one should have that. That's ridiculous. That's dumb, silly numbers. You sneeze with that much money, you could have funded like 12 billion games. Jeez. That's the part. Like, there's so much Xbox I think is doing really, really well, has been doing well. I've been in it since the OG Xbox. I have, my saves are there. That's super cool. And that's because of Microsoft as well, having the ecosystem they do. But now the corporation is getting too involved, and it's just, don't kill a brand that's cool, that entertainment matters, art matters. The games I have played from like South of Midnight, the work they put into being authentic to the culture they wanted to represent and to represent it well. And then the story, like, that's awesome. And like, that stuff matters. Like, that stuff still sticks with me. Just like God of War story sticks with me for those emotional reasons, not the silly gameplay AI did this reasons, right? Like, that's whatever. That's dressing. It's the content that people make. So I just, Microsoft needs to stop with the AI initiatives. Like, trust the people you're telling to use it when they say, hey, what? There's other ways to use it. I want, when I'm playing Elden Ring, the Clippy to pop up and be like, my guy, you've pressing B way too early. I could see that you're pressing early. I'm your AI assistant. You're pressing it too early. Stop it. I'm like, oh, that's why I keep dying? That's like, there's ways of AI to do shit like that. I think that could be a tool to help people as opposed to a tool to make stuff that people do. What? Like, silly. Microsoft, get out of the way and let Xbox do something.
I'll take Clippy on my Elden Ring immediately so I can play that game, actually.
Right, and he can help you.
But to that,
he's like, stop.
With the Microsoft point, that's something I was going to bring up earlier, but with how many people they have overlooking their workflow and studios and management and everything, how often they make the same mistakes. Someone from Halo Studios that was laid off in this recent week, CJ Ramos, was one of the people who openly said, like, hey, this was due in part to AI initiative, but also for them to do more contract work, which, if I'm not mistaken, like, contract work is the reason Halo Infinite's campaign got switched and cut so harshly, because they
were on their own engine. That's why they're switching to Unreal 5, so they can get more people are aware of what Unreal 5 is.
But still, if you're doing like the contract work, like, those are short-term, year-long, multi-year-long things. Like, those people aren't invested in it. They're not having the same.
But you don't need to teach the engine though. So as soon as they drop in, you just spend significantly less time. That's 100% what they're, and it's cheaper to pay contractors as opposed.
Yeah.
That's why they're switching. That's why so many Xbox studios are switching to Unreal. It just seems like the next batch of people and then Epic money are all like just using Unreal.
Yeah, it's just the comparison. I saw someone post about it this week where Xbox laid off more people than are at Nintendo, and Nintendo has less people, but they've been there for years and they have the passion and the drive for the stuff they're working on. Where you have Xbox as a revolving door of people who are, this is your assignment this week. Like, you lose something in the core ideals of the games you're working on, I feel. Which I don't get.
Well, that's American corporate, though.
I do, it's American corporate, but like, come the fuck out.
Not saying it's right. Yeah, not saying it's right. It's just that's just how it is, You cycle through the bottom people as you climb your way up, and then you just hold on to that top position as long as you can.
I keep doing the same mistake and it's backfiring on me. Let's do it again. Like,
and then you leave and go to another company and slowly make the same mistake, making even more money.
Dumb.
Sorry.
Well, let's just put it this way: it's hard to teach how to not do a mistake when the people that made the mistake aren't there anymore.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of knowledge being lost. Very good way of
Or a
putting it.
lot of bad knowledge being gained. I saw that too. I don't know if it's real or
Oh.
not, but with the Activision Blizzard buyout, and we all saw how Blizzard Activision was being mismanaged beforehand, that a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
those higher ups got brought into Microsoft proper, so they're just managing Xbox as a whole, how they were doing things then before, and that's, again, if that's real, people putting pieces together. I'm like, that's scummy, but it makes sense to a point. I'm sure in a couple years we'll have a Jason Schreier article about it, but
Oh,
Oh man, he's
no.
sitting at home writing right now.
yeah, like it makes sense. Like the pieces are there.
Yeah. Nah, we'll never know the true story. Well, maybe we will.
Anything else you guys want to end off as we're approaching almost 2 hours here on this?
Yeah, I love it.
Just to kind of throw it out as it's almost kind of like a nothing piece of news, but like at least a little bit of something to kind of, pick it up just a tiny bit. There was a Games Radar article from 2 days ago talking about, despite the layoffs at Xbox, I believe it is Toys for Bob and
Don't do it.
Moon.
Do it. I know what you're
Moon
about to say. Don't do it.
Studios saying that they still hold interest on making a Banjo-Kazooie game.
I don't even want it
That's all.
anymore.
That's all the good I can get. It's not a lot, but it's a little. That's as much good as I can get out of this whole situation.
It's definitely something. There, like you said, there's a couple good things around it news-wise, but overall, just everything from the June showcase supposedly is okay and isn't affected by this. Was also came out.
Yeah.
What was it? OD is also supposedly okay as of now, along with State of Decay 3, which I was surprised by. I thought that would have been on the chopping block with how long that game's been in development, but who knows?
They would never shut down, like even think about shutting down a Kojima game. They know how much that would bring to Xbox, especially with Death Stranding 2 just coming out.
So you thought the pitchforks are bad
supposedly
now.
being like the next game coming up. Oof.
Oh man, I hope.
Yeah.
That's good.
With that, we'll wrap it up. Brian, again, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome anytime. We got a nice 3-window layout here, thanks to Kyle.
Hey,
Come back whenever you want.
100%. I always enjoy talking to you guys.
What do you got going on this week? Self-promotion? Same with self-promotion?
That is a very good question. We will probably do one of two things. Either hop back into Battlefront 2 or hop into Mecha BREAK. It's going to be one of the two. Yeah, we're kind of going into like our gaming summer right now. We're kind of in like a summer mode, especially besides all this stuff, there hopefully won't be another news like this. So we're kind of just getting the opportunity to play some games, and hopefully people would want to come and join us, hang out. But yeah, other than that, just kind of doing our usual thing.
Yeah, I did initiate Mecha BREAK install start of the episode, so hit me up this week. I'm in. I'm down to try it out.
Hey,
Kyle?
there you go.
Fresh off your everyday in June, or else you goon. What are you up to?
Not gooning, because I
Not
streamed every
gooning.
day in June. That's right. Yeah, that was fun. Crazy. Definitely multiple nights at 11:30. Like, well, I don't want to, but it's already been 20 days, so really, you can't not keep going. So it's cool. It helped me want to keep, hey, if I could stream every day in June, I could plan out content and stick to it. So we're gonna stream Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday this week. Gonna be working. Gotta keep playing Super Mario 64. I'm gonna beat it. It's a painful thing. I hate the camera. It pisses me off. I get really full of rage. It's going to teach me how to handle that, and I can't wait to beat it and be done with it and move on to Super Mario Sunshine, which has no issues.
Boy.
I've heard. Yeah, we're gonna beat those Sunshine, 64 and Galaxy. So I haven't beat them any of them. It'll be my first time. So we'll be doing that Monday, and then Destiny as well this week, as the Edge of Fate looms in 2 weeks. New Destiny expansion. So that's what we'll be working on. Mario and Destiny. The Destiny of Mario.
Yeah, Mario. Love to hear it. For me, I have no schedule this week. I'm on call. Everything gets thrown away. I have no idea what's going on a day-to-day basis. But behind me, new backdrop, beginning of new setup, new desk is installed in the office. Capture card is hooked up finally, which opens up endless possibilities on our end for what we can do. And I'm officially announcing, Kyle, if you want to hop on, people who have played GTA 5 before want to join me on episodes, I will be beginning GTA 5 for the very first time on Xbox 360. Not Xbox Series, not Xbox One. We're going back to the original version. What's been taken out? What's still there? I have no idea. But it's installed. Xbox is right here next to me.
Big people. The 360 couldn't handle big people walking the streets of Los Santos.
Is that a thing?
Yes, there was a thing when they did the Xbox One update. It was like, we have different body types.
We have fat people. Hey. So.
Yep, yeah. No, I mean, hey, man, the power of the Xbox One, the 360 couldn't do it.
So yeah, I will be.
I can't wait to watch these.
I will be beginning that journey. It's been installed on my console. I installed it when I came to Game Pass, I think. Never booted up. Not a single achievement popped. So this will be actual first time before GTA 6 comes out, experiencing GTA 5 in 2025. So
I love this.
Coming this week sometime. I can't wait. As we sign off again, Brian, thank you again. Kyle, as always, it's a pleasure. Great discussion was had. This is our official longest episode ever, I think, even beating out our prediction episode this year. So if you have stuck around or are watching after the fact, thank you so much. This will be available Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Monday morning, bright and early. As always, we record right here Sundays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/BadlandsBacklogs. Till next week. Till next time. Happy gaming. Be good. Bye.